Modeling high-end luxury brands and rocking dreadlocks with a nose ring and an incredible love for punk rock is not exactly how we picture the beginnings of our top technologists. Weren't they supposed to be nerds or something? We guess that just confirms how unconventional ISTPs can be. Today, taking Jack Dorsey as a case study, we look at why ISTPs are unconventional and unique. Jack Dorsey is an American technologist, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. He is also the co-founder and former CEO of Twitter, as well as the founder and CEO of Block, Incorporated, a financial payments company. At 4 to 5 with a net worth of about $8 billion, Jack Dorsey is one of the richest men in the world. The introverted sensing thinking and perceiving personality type is one of the 16 identified personality types by the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. ISTPs have dominant introverted thinking, which means they like to spend time alone dealing with acquired information in their heads. They say very little and are usually not the best communicators, and this allows them to thoroughly observe their environments, taking in minute details, and creating this inner framework for how things operate. They are also called the crafter, artisan, or virtuoso. The first reason why Jack Dorsey is a typical ISTP is that he values things that have real-life connections and values. This is a typical characteristic of an ISTP. They place a premium on things that have practical applications rather than abstract ideas, and that is why to inspire his employees, Dorsey takes them to the Golden Gate Bridge, specifically to Land's End. He believes that a good software should operate like a bridge. People should be thinking about its functionality instead of its engineering. For him, a bridge has pure utility in that people commute on it every single day. The practical use of the bridge is more endearing than its mechanics to an ISTP. However, it doesn't mean they have no appreciation for the processes involved. We'll tell you about this other characteristic as well soon enough. Fun fact number 2. Jack Dorsey doesn't have a desk. He uses an iPad instead for work. And that is it. You may be thinking that as CEO of such large corporations, he would at least have some ultra-modern office facing New York's landscape, with furnishings fit for the billionaire that he is, but we guess that is unconventionality number 2. If you ever met an ISTP or are one yourself, then you know that they quickly get bored. That is probably why he has no desk. They love bureaucratic structures and prefer to work at their own pace. Freedom and autonomy are top priorities for an ISTP, which can bring conflicts, especially when they are working with stricter ENTJs who have more care for logic and practicality than a carefree attitude. People with ISTP personality traits enjoy new experiences and may engage in different hobbies because they like to adjust what they already have with new information constantly. Subscribe to this channel down below as we move on to discuss why ISTPs are so unconventional. The third reason why ISTPs are unique is because though we said earlier that they appreciate the practicality of a matter, they also have profound admiration for the steps involved in arriving at a particular solution. We know the bridge is going to do a good job getting us over to the other side, but hey, who is going to build that bridge and how? ISTPs are logical and rational. They make judgments based on objective criteria rather than personal beliefs. Jack Dorsey has constantly been an extraordinary admirer of architecture and cities, saying, "My number one action of the day is looking through the metropolitan regions. I discovered its engineering extremely interesting and appreciating." Did you know that just like they would prefer, ISTPs who are spearheading organizations are more likely to give their employees room to be innovative? This is one of the logical approaches for an ISTP, and we will be discussing this in depth. Jack Dorsey has indicated in several interviews that he is most certainly not an affluent communicator. If that is anything to go by, we know we definitely made no mistake in categorizing him as a person with an ISTP personality trait. ISTPs observe and are very private individuals, usually because they are spending more time in their heads than they are in real life. In a meeting with an hour, he said, "Individuals frequently think that it's pretty agitating as I'm a quiet individual. They expect to know my considerations, yet I lean toward keeping quiet more often than not. I'm a quiet person which is my fundamental nature. As a matter of fact, that is the fundamental nature of all ISTPs. ISTP are unconventional because, unlike other circumstances where team leaders assume the topmost position and delegate responsibilities downwards, they allow for team members to contribute their utmost best. Jack Dorsey himself is a firm believer of the fact that the power of an organization is not in its leader but depends on the employees. Just as he said, a founder is not a job, it is a role and attitude. Though others may consider this as laissez-faire, ISTPs are more likely to offer support for innovation and creativity in a setting rather than making decisions solely based on their opinion for an entire team. ISTPs are unique, no doubt, and that is why you must make it a point to check our other video on how ISTPs train themselves to think unconventionally. Thank you for spending time with us. Enjoy the rest of your day.